down for the history books.
I was going to put that on the paper there.
Let's try all this.
Man, who's a bigger train wreck? Amanda Bynes, Lindsay Lohan.
All right, here we go.
Here with some thoughts on that is Fat Elvis.
I asked that girl if she'd give me her keys. She said, baby, pretty please. I know I've been drinking Long Island iced teas, but alcoholism's a real disease. Baby, don't you drive my car. Yeah, man, what's gotten into Lindsay Lohan and Amanda Bynes? I mean, WTF, a DUI ain't nothing to LOL about. There's one thing I can't abide. It's a celebrity who don't know how to deal with substance abuse. I know I'm the last person to cast stones, considering I was stoned from the comeback special in '68 till I went belly up in the bathroom in '77. I did more second all in one weekend than they gave out in the disturbed ward at Bellevue during the entire Carter administration. My two best friends were Barb and Jack. Yeah. I'd wash a handful of her down with him, then get behind the wheel of my Cadillac, drive down Beale Street with the lights out, and run over some hobos. Good times, man. Good times. Of course, I couldn't do that now or I'd be arrested for DWD, driving while dead, which turns out they frown upon more than if you blow a .39, because you can blow all you want till you're blue in the face, which you already are because you're dead, which Lindsay Lohan should be by now. That girl's got more lives than a Hindu alley cat, but I guess wearing an ankle bracelet gives you a heavy foot on the gas pedal. Little less acceleration, little less vodka, please. Little more concentration, little more expertise. Little control when you're behind the wheel. Couple more lawyers to file appeal. Need a little bit of effing brains, Miss Lindsay Lohan. Lindsay Lohan, baby. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, Imus in the morning.
Well, going to be a great show today. Great,
Vince Gill.
Great show. Great day in New York today.
Yep.
Last day of summer, going to be 73 degrees. Brand told me, said, so let's do some sunbathing, baby. So anyway, coming up this morning, Juan Williams, Fox News, and then a great Vince Gill. Now, Vince is, I say great, I mean great. He's not going to sing, he's just coming in to talk. Now, why would you book somebody like Vince Gill just to talk? Because he's worth talking to.
That's it.
There's a few of these guys, people, who I would talk to. There would be him, who are worth talking to. Dwight Yoakam.
Okay.
Smart guy, Yoakam. Crazy, but good crazy. Delbert, smart guy.
Of course.
Funny. Kinky. Genius.
Yep. Not many more, right?
Billy Ray.
He's one of the nicest guys, too, Dwight Yoakam.
Oh, yeah. He is, isn't he?
Oh, he's a really nice guy.
You know, the day I got fired, he called me on my cell phone. I was on my way to meet the team. Then I was in the car.
Right.
No, he's a good man.
Yep.
He understood what the deal was. I said, you know.
Good Dwightster.
Right.
Can't say stuff like that, man. Don't pick on people who don't deserve it. Say stuff like just don't do it. You're trying to be funny or not. No, come on. Anyway, so and then the big dog's here, Bill Clinton.
Oh, good.
He's concerned about that book that Monica Lewinsky's going to do.
Oh, I bet.
About them sex positions. And then Warner.
Yes.
You and Guns.
Yes, sir.
You skunks.
Yes,
and
sir.
Steve Mariucci, the pregame show on the NFL Network.
Yeah.
There's two reasons to watch that. Alex Flanagan, other than that,
Yeah, goodbye.
they suck. Rich Eisen sucks. Steve Mariucci sucks. Deion Sanders, moron. Michael Irvin, moron. And that other guy, moron. Every one of them picked the Carolina Panthers. What happened? The New York Giants put a butt whipping on them.
Oh, man.
36-7. Come on.
Pussy Riot. Come on.
Start the Pussy Riot.
That's right. Come
Oh,
on.
man. Eli got the ball. What did he do? He marched down the field, scored a touchdown.
Boom. 80
Every
yards.
time he got the ball, he scored. Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Start the Giant Riot.
Hey.
And the reserves, man, those guys. I'll give you the regulars better look over their shoulders. That Andre Brown playing for Ahmad Bradshaw.
Well, you and ice cream cone in the forehead Gunselman.
Oh, God.
Should have anticipated this.
That's fighting words.
Oh, good morning.
Selling me out. Selling me out.
I mean, this was an outrage.
That's right.
Enjoy that ice cream.
I will never listen to and you're right, Warner, about these pregame shows.
Oh.
These people don't know anything.
No, waste of time.
That's a total waste of time.
Yeah.
Put some hot fudge on that.
Honeymoon is over, guns. Hey,
Welcome.
Sprinkles, too.
all right, we're going to do the news now. Bernard,
Yo, Chief.
or Connell, or either any of you,
Anybody.
did the Libyan attack on the embassy.
Right.
The administration initially, the president and the Secretary of State, characterized this as a direct result of this YouTube movie, right?
Well, Susan Rice all over the Sunday shows. She did a
Okay.
tour.
UN ambassador. Right.
Now, is there any evidence? And how are they describing it now, the administration?
That that there is evidence that the guy who was released from Guantanamo Bay in 2007 was behind, an Al Qaeda guy, was behind the attack on the embassy in Libya.
Right. So is the president willing to use the word terrorist and describe this as a terrorist attack?
Not personally. Jay Carney used that word yesterday, but the president did not when he was asked about it in the forum in Florida.
Has he ever used the word terrorist?
It's a good question.
Okay. Now, so my question is this then: did they have evidence that then did they know better than it was a result of the movie, or of course coincidentally falling on not so coincidentally falling on September 11th? Did they know that, or did they lie about it, or did they just assume? You would think with our intelligence apparatus they would know better, but then we've had a bunch of other screw-ups. So what happened here? In other words, did they lie? Did they know? Or did they not have the information? What?
They jumped to conclusions. If they didn't know, they should have said they didn't know instead of proclaiming definitively that it was a direct result of the movie.
Right.
Right.
They should not have proclaimed that. They should have said, "Let's wait and see." They didn't. They still harp on the movie as though and they're conflating two things. The movie, the terrorists used the movie perhaps as a cover to get the morons to come out and cause a riot, so
Sure.
they could use that as cover to go in. But in either case, they were misleading. Was the administration? They obviously don't want it to look like there was a terrorist. They want to say GM is alive and Bin Laden is dead, and that's it. They can't say that anymore, and that's why they're
I know you can't see it, but do you like my new hat?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's bad. That's Johnny Cash.
That's
Oh,
a
that's
bad hat. You know,
look out now.
Yeah.
you know who did this?
Good blocking.
Stuart Dunlop, Man's Hat Shop, Albuquerque.
Nobody but him
Did he?
can block a hat.
Wow.
He did it and sent it to me.
You could tell it's
That's Durango Kid hat.
Oh man, that guy! Come on.
Got the hat
All right,
right.
let's do the news.
all right.
So, Warner, you're a disgrace, Warner. This is unbelievable. Why don't you be yucking it up over there? This is unbelievable. The country singer Josh Turner's downstairs. That boy's pretty good. He's on Fox and Fiends.
Okay.
I guess people with the 80+ demographic buy records, right? There's Connell with the news. Good morning, Connell.
Good morning, I'm Protesters are actually in the streets today in Pakistan. They won't be able to use their cell phones, though. The government there is blocking cell service in major cities so the phones can't be used to detonate bombs. It's a national day of protest against that movie we were talking about, the anti-Muslim film produced here in the United States. The surge in Afghanistan, meantime, is over, according to the Secretary of Defense, Leon Panetta, who says, in his view, it worked. The 33,000 additional troops sent to Afghanistan a couple of years ago now have pulled out of the country. The latest Gallup daily tracking poll has the race for the White House a dead heat, 47% apiece.
Well, be darned.
Mitt Romney and President Obama. But Romney's still hurting in some of these key swing states. Wall Street Journal, NBC numbers. Obama's up 8 points in Iowa, leading by 5 both in Wisconsin and Colorado.
You know, we are at a state in this country where this is the best we can do. The suit dummy and the president.
Is the choice you have.
I mean, I know a bunch of smart guys. So do you. I mean, we all do.
Right. You mean like business leaders and that type of thing? And
Well, it's really smart people.
yeah.
Can't get them to run.
Well, I was going to say it's hard to get people to run. Absolutely.
I don't know.
Will be vetted and everything else.
12 minutes after the hour here in the Imus Morning Program. Juan Williams, Vince Gill, Neil Cavuto. That's a pretty good lineup.
Yeah, it is.
Panel continues.
Got some comments from Ann Romney here in a second, but first, the campaign has turned to comments made not by either Romney, but by the president, saying yesterday Washington cannot be changed from the inside. Big things, he says, get done when people pressure politicians from the outside. So Romney was all over that, saying that Obama's thrown in the white flag of surrender on the economy. Now, here's Ann Romney. She was on a radio show in Iowa asking Republicans to stop attacking her husbands.
What do you say to your fellow Republicans who are...
Stop it. This is hard. You want to try it? Get in the ring. This is hard. It's an important thing that we're doing right now, and it's an important election.
Yeah, today the president...
Your husband's a moron.
In Virginia.
But that's other than that. Except he'll do better than this guy.
Well, that would have been the follow-up.
Having said all that, I mean, maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. And those of you who know me know I probably don't. But I'm going to vote for him, and I'm going to tell you that the day he gets elected, the economy's better. He doesn't have to do anything.
You just think confidence is going to improve?
Yes.
That's what he made. One of the arguments he made in that video that came out. Romney will be in Nevada today. Obama campaigning in Virginia. Some American Airlines frequent flyers worried after hearing about the company's intentions to lay off thousands of workers and then reduce flights.
I'm pretty loyal to them because I do travel and get my miles with them. I've really not had too many problems.
They've had a number of flights, though, that have been canceled this week. American announcing more than 11,000 employees could lose their jobs. They're going through bankruptcy reorganization. And Fast and Furious, lawmakers analyzing this new report that's come in on the botched ATF gun-walking operation. It's a report from the Inspector General from the Justice Department. They found the Attorney General, Eric Holder, was not aware of the operation until it came out in the media and other places. Here's California Republican Congressman Darrell Issa, says the report raises an important question.
So there's clearly a question not of did he know, because he said he didn't know. The question is, why in the world does key lieutenants keep it from them? And, of course, why is that something that we took this long?
There's a car alarm going off. Isn't he the guy who invented those, Bernie, or Connell?
Yes.
Please step away from the car.
Yeah.
That's his voice.
Yeah. Please step away from the car. Please step away from your mouth.
Oh, my God.
Sick of hearing about this.
All right, enough's enough.
Come on.
Well,
let's just get the problems in this country solved. Bernard McGurk's going to be a guest with O'Reilly tonight.
Oh, good.
At 8 p.m. on the Fox News Channel. Bernard McGurk and Greg Gutfeld in a segment called What the Hell Just Happened or something.
Something like that.
And it's good and they're good. Quarter after the hour, let's do some business news. Now with that, it's Dagan Patel. Morning, Dagan.
Good morning, sir. Yesterday, Dow was up a paltry almost 19 points, and the futures are higher this morning. And okay, all these dingalings are lined up for the new iPhone 5. It goes on sale this morning at 8 a.m. local time at stores in 9 countries. I'm sure it's going to have record sales, but here's what we care about even more than that Apple has fallen flat on its face with this new mapping software that it released. It's on this new phone. It's also in the new software, the iOS 6. It replaced Google Maps, kicked Google Maps off the phone, and it's a disaster. It sucks. That's how bad it is. Basically, like businesses wind up in the middle of rivers.
So I told Dagan I use MapQuest. She said, oh, that's so 90s.
MapQuest?
I said, well, the place where I'm going hadn't moved. And they'll tell you how to get there. What the hell do I care?
You could do so much better than that, though. That's the issue. You could do so much better than that. It's like saying I've got like a Xerox typewriter, like an old IBM Selectric or some thing like that before I curse.
What's better?
Right. No, all these new
What's
mapping
better?
software. Google Maps is better.
Yeah, it is.
Google
Okay.
Maps is far and above better than MapQuest, and particularly this new Apple mapping
Old
software.
Weird Dave Patterson from TechServe, he just updated my iPhone to iOS 6 last night.
Yeah.
Well, you lost your Google Maps, and if you want to look for the Hoover Dam on the 3D imaging on this Apple mapping software, it looks like an asphalt roller coaster.
Yeah,
That's
but
how lousy it is.
I know where the Hoover Dam is, right outside of Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go look at it. Come on, dude.
Can't do it on that Apple mapping
Well,
software.
come on. Just get a life.
Don't we love when some giant's the biggest company in the world screws up?
Telling her to get a life.
Conversation.
First of all you ever care about is a bunch of redneck goobers driving around in a circle, and who knows where they're going to race this weekend in NASCAR. Dope. Where is the race?
Loudon, New Hampshire, actually.
Oh, that's a pretty good track. So, so they don't need a map.
Well, they're goosing
I'll tell you what they do need.
That's right.
They need a clue.
Goosing each
All
other's
right,
wives.
18 after the hour here on the Imus in the Morning program. Have you done sports yet, Warner?
No.
Okay, don't wear me out, but here's Warner with sports. Go ahead.
All right, man. Thursday night football in Charlotte. The Giants, even with 4 offensive injuries, beat the Panthers 36-7, just like Gunzelman and myself called it. Backup running back Andre Brown playing for the injured Ahmad Bradshaw, 113 yards and 20 carries and 2 touchdowns. And then reserve wide receiver Ramses Barden, playing in place of Hakeem Nicks, caught 9 passes for 138 yards. Eli, 27 for 35, 288 yards, a touchdown, no interceptions, and Lawrence Tynes kicked 5 field goals.
Wow.
Now, here was Cam Newton, who, by the way, I don't know if you saw this, after he scored a touchdown to make it cut it to 23-7, he went into his Superman celebration. Pretty good timing for that. So here was Newton, only 16 for 30, intercepted 3 times, and ran the ball 6 times for only 6 yards.
Who wants to support something that puts on a performance of embarrassment? And that's what that was tonight. If I was a fan of the Carolina Panthers, I would be holding my head down in shame of the product that was out there today.
Yeah, he was awful.
Stop your stupid end zone celebrations then, okay?
Yeah.
How about that?
23-7.
What a dope.
You're getting killed.
They're getting murdered.
Yeah, man.
Why do that?
Yankees beat the Jays 10-7, sweep the series. Ichiro, by the way, a home run and a double. He's now 9 for his last 12.
God, that guy's crazy.
Oh, man.
On fire.
On fire. So Yanks lead the Orioles by 1 with 13 to play.
Okay, fine.
And this is embarrassing, man.
What?
At Citi Field, the Phillies scored 8 in the first, 7 in the ninth, and beat the Mets 16-1. Here was Met manager Terry Collins was asked after the game.
About 30 people there.
Yeah, there's no. Look at the seats, the
There's
stands.
nobody there.
They were dressed as empty seats.
The trainers
Here
were
was
seats.
Mets manager Terry Collins asked after the game if he was embarrassed.
I am.
Has his team quit?
You have to ask him.
The fans quit.
What do you think?
You'll have to ask him. I have my own opinion. I'm not going to express it publicly.
That's horrible.
They got a hit.
Oh, man, they got to get rid of him. All right, 20 minutes after the hour. Do you have anything else, Warner?
Well, real quick, Tiger Woods and Justin Rose share the lead of that FedEx Cup playoff. Roy McIlroy is 3 back.
All right, coming up on 21 after the hour here on the Imus in the Morning program, Juan Williams, Vince Gill, Neil Cavuto, Bill Clinton, and Tony Robbins are all coming up. Bernie's got a briefing, too. What's that, B?
Got some more fiery Obama versus Romney. Jimmy Fallon busts on the president, and Tim Tebow tells the world what kind of woman he wants.
All right, baby. All right, what kind of woman do you want? So, Dwight Yoakam's new album is called 3 Pears. There's not a bad cut on it. It's the number 2 country album on iTunes. Dwight Yoakam, number 2. Come on here. It's a great record. Here's one of the better songs on it.
It's never alright. It comes and it goes. Oh, it's always around. Even when it don't show. They say it gets better. Well, I guess that it might. But even when it's bitter, it's never alright. It's never okay. Lonely moves here and there. Sometimes it stays in one place and just stays.
used to have a producer. This been when I was at NBC Radio.
Yeah.
And I would say, God, I'm starving. You know what he would say? Why don't you get something to eat?
Mm-hmm. Not a bad idea.
I'd say, God, I kind of a horrible headache. You ought to take some aspirin. I mean, you do that, by the way. Just
what should the answer be? I mean,
nothing. You don't
just ignore you.
It's just venting. It doesn't require an answer. It doesn't require a suggestion.
Right.
It doesn't require a comment. Shut up.
Here's the problem.
But what?
If we don't say anything, any of us,
minutes later. 2
right,
minutes later.
what happens, Tony?
Oh, don't you bastards care I'm starving?
No, that's not true. After the hour here on the Imus in the Morning program. Here are, as of today, the 2012 Professional Rodeo Cowboy Association World Standings in tie-down roping. Justin Moss in first place, $137,000. Then Tuff Cooper, he's the current world champion. He's at $98,000. The great Cody Ohl. Now that Joe doesn't rope anymore, he's my favorite roper.
Okay.
Wyatt's too. He's third at $96,000. Then Hunter Heron, Corey Solomon, Shane Hanshi, Clint Robinson, Matt Shiazawa, Houston Hutum, the great Fred Whitfield, African-American, one of the great ropers ever, 8-time world champion, and on and on. Blair Burke in 15th place. So that's where we are.
All right.
If we were going to go to Thomas and Mack in Vegas and have it today, those are the 15 guys who would be roping.
Oh, okay.
Time for a Bernie briefing at 29 after the hour. And here with that, but I'm a great morning, B.
Morning, Chief. And President Obama sat down with these Univision people yesterday, the Spanish language TV station. And if he thought he was going to get questions like, what's your favorite salsa music, or do you like J-Lo and stuff like that, he was in for a big surprise.
Uh-oh.
The dude hit him hard, this Jorge Ramos, and it was like the Spanish Inquisition.
He's a good reporter.
He's a very good reporter.
Yeah, he is.
Yes, it was like the Spanish Inquisition for a little while. Anyway, he asked him about changing things in government, and he gave a bad answer, and then Mitt Romney jumped on it, as Connell alluded to earlier. Here's Obama first, and then Mitt Romney right afterward.
I've learned some lessons over the last 4 years, and the most important lesson I've learned is that you can't change Washington from the inside. You can only change it from the outside. That's how I got elected. And that's how the big accomplishments like health care got done.
The president today threw in the white flag of surrender again. He said he can't change Washington from inside. He can only change it from outside. Well, we're going to give him that chance in November. He's going outside.
That's about as animated and funny as Mitt Romney will get, but it wasn't that bad. And the New York Giants, of course, on a tear, right, boss?
Yes.
But who cares? Tim Tebow, he's on the cover of Vogue magazine. He's on the cover of the New York Post this morning, putting his physique on display there. And I'm sure that's going to rile up all the Giants this morning. But, of course, he's a devout Christian, and he tells Vogue magazine. Yes, exactly right. He tells Vogue magazine what he looks for in a woman. And here's his quote. I've been blessed to have an amazing mom and 2 amazing sisters, so they set a very high standard. Now, stop right there. When I think of a woman, I don't think of my mom. God bless them, God rest them, I should say. But anyway, he goes on, and that's what makes him a good guy, apparently, obviously. Obviously, looks play a big part. Being attracted to someone plays a big part, but there's also much more than that for me. It's about finding someone who's sweet and kind and that has a servant's heart. Oh. It's about finding a girl who likes me for me and not because of what I do or who I am or the name.
Yeah, a tasty rack covering that servant's heart.
Yep, he did add that she's got to have a booty that's high and tight. And that if it ain't tight, it ain't right.
Yeah.
But so, the boy's got some feelings.
There has got to be
I can see him saying that.
Yeah.
somebody else to talk about.
He's got to have a booty high
He
and
seemed
tight.
like a nice guy.
People can't get enough of the front page of the
Okay.
New York Post. Look at this.
I like him. I'm down with him.
Don't be a hater now, Chief.
I'm not a hater.
No.
At all. Quite the contrary.
Right. All right.
Holy roller.
He boaster.
Well, I can conclude on that because Juan Williams is in the bullpen.
Yeah.
And he's throwing
Didn't
pitches.
you have something else?
I do. Jimmy Fallon. Take a listen to him busting on the president, I think from last night.
Here's some election news. During a fundraiser with Jay-Z last night, President Obama said that he and the rapper have a lot in common because their wives are more popular than they are. While Jay-Z said they have a lot in common because neither one of them has a plan to fix the economy. That's what he said.
Jerry Fallon, that's a pretty funny line. He'll be here in about an hour. He's not going to sing, he's going to talk with him. Vince! Bill?
Well, ain't nothing in the bottom of your glass for a broken heart. You were doing pretty good till she came and tore your world apart. Well, she found a little younger model. You ran straight for the bottle. There ain't nothing in the bottom of your glass for a broken heart.
If you want.
All right, 21 till the hour here on the Imus and Wayne program. I lost my phone.
Yeah.
And I can't call it because I keep it on
vibrate or whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
All right.
I have no idea where it is. Thought I gave it to Carly, but it could be anywhere.
All right. We'll get
All
over
right,
it.
please welcome now to the Imus and Wayne program.
Oh, we're still getting him.
Oh, we're still getting him.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was having a little phone issue thing.
Oh,
Good morning.
Vince Gill's coming up this morning. Talk to him about some stuff. State of country music and state of Vince Gill.
That's it.
And then Neil Cavuto, he's going to be in. Talk about him, about state of the country, state of the economy and all that.
He had his big Romney interview there.
Please welcome now to the Imus and Wayne program, Fox News contributor Juan Williams. Good morning, Mr. Williams.
Good morning, Mr. Amos. I was worried for a second you forgot about me. You didn't even know my name? What is this? What's going on over
Well,
there?
I'm thinking about 2 or 3 different things.
You know what? You're thinking about beautiful women or something. I guess that's on your mind all the time.
Trying to find my phone.
Yeah.
You know what I'm reading, which is terrific, is O'Reilly's Killing Kennedy.
Yeah.
Did you read Killing Lincoln?
I did.
And?
I liked it. You know, in fact, he gave me a copy early on, and I gave one to my son because I liked it so much. And I told him this, and he can be reluctant even to accept praise, but yeah, I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of that. I didn't read it all but Killing Kennedy, I was talking about it. I said, do you mind talking about this or no?
No, why would I mind talking about it?
No, I don't know. Oh. The difference is between, say, Walter Isaacson, Doris Kearns Goodwin, Doug Brinkley, and those people. If they tell you about, in the story, they're talking about the Cuban Missile Crisis. So they write about Khrushchev, O'Reilly does. And he describes him as 5'3", about 200 pounds, got a big old mole, gap in his teeth, murdering little bastard. But if it's Doris or all those other people, you get 40 pages of where he grew up, who his fat sister and his brother and his parent. I mean, the stuff that maybe I want to know. But here's, do you believe that Lee Harvey Oswald was the lone assassin of Jack Kennedy?
I think he was the lone assassin. If you're asking who pulled the trigger, yeah, I do. But
Okay.
if you're asking were there other people involved who may have been backing Oswald, funding Oswald, did Jack Ruby have any role to play there? I'm very suspicious of that.
Well, here's what they're trying to do in the book, which doesn't annoy me, but they're trying to set Oswald up. He describes on page 15, does O'Reilly, Oswald as a crack shot. Well, I was in the Marine Corps at the same time Oswald was.
Sure.
I was in from 57 to 59 on a 2-year reserve program. I had 2 years active duty, then reserve. He was in from 56 to 59. So I qualified for the rifle in the same program as he did. And I barely qualified as a marksman. Then there's 3 categories: marksman, sharpshooter, and expert. So they describe, so O'Reilly describes Oswald as a sharpshooter, but in May of 1956, he qualified, did Oswald, barely 2 points into being designated a sharpshooter. In other words, 2 fewer points, and he would have been a marksman in the lowest category. And then again, pardon me?
Hang on. But wait a minute. The idea is he was a trained shooter.
Yeah.
I mean, so, okay, you can get into your gradations of how skilled he was, but I think Bill's point was, look, this guy didn't just pick up a gun and he was, some schlock who was trying out. I mean, he had been trained in how to fire, and he had qualified. I think that makes him, compared to me, for example, who's never fired a gun. A marksman.
Okay. But don't sell him to me as a crack shot, which he was not, because when he tried to assassinate General Walker, he missed him, and he was 40 feet from him.
Well, good point.
And then he qualified again in 1959, just before he got out, and he qualified barely with a score of 191 as a marksman, the lowest designation. 2 fewer points, and he would not have qualified. So my only point is, yes, he could shoot a rifle better than some bozo on the street, but don't try to sell him to me as being this expert crack shot, because he wasn't. So that's
you may know too much on this count, but anyway, your point's well taken. But especially the fact that he has missed. But I think that the larger point is to the reader that this is a guy who was trained in how to shoot, and as you point out, not only qualified once, but qualified twice is the other way to interpret the exact same events that you just said make you doubt, how good a shot he was.
Only an idiot like me would get bogged down in the minutia of that. All right, about the president, about Romney. Now, let me see if your guy, the president...
Do you really want to talk about that? Doesn't sound like it.
Well, want to talk about what?
American presidential politics.
Yeah, I don't mind.
Well, I know Romney's not doing so well, and I figure you're going to be depressed and upset about it.
I don't care.
Okay.
My job is to monitor the freak parade. He's in it. Anyway, now has the president and the Secretary of State and the National Security Advisor and these other people, Susan Rice and the rest of them, have they decided now what the attack in Libya was? They first tried to sell it that it was a result of this YouTube movie, which every fool on the planet knew that wasn't the case, particularly following on September 11th. And now when the president's reluctant to use the word terrorist, I don't know if I've ever heard him utter that word, now they're acknowledging that it was a terrorist attack. So my question for you is, were they initially lying, 1, or did they not know, 2, or 3, were they just assuming or guessing, or 4, were they waiting until they got more information and thought they'd throw up a smoke screen to try to hoodwink us?
Well, I think that there was a strong sense that this was terrorism, but again, they don't have a sense of Libya, and I think the intelligence background necessary to lay things out. But if you're asking about whether or not they're reluctant to call terrorism what it is, I don't think there's any question. This has been a problem throughout the administration. Mm-hmm. They talk about man-made disasters instead of terrorism. I mean, but that has to do with a mindset that, again, caution about attacking people, especially Muslims, and reluctance to embrace the idea that it's terrorism, because somehow then that would take us back to the Bush years of the war on terror, and they don't want to do that. So that's been a mindset with these folks from the start,
Okay. Who's the National Security Advisor?
At the moment?
Well, no, in October of 1922. yes, at the moment, Juan.
No, I don't know.
Tom Donlan.
It's Keith Alexander. So, isn't that right, Bernie?
That is correct.
Okay. So neither Bernie nor I had any idea who it was.
Right. Well, I couldn't call up his name, Ron.
Yeah, couldn't either.
You got me.
Well, wouldn't you think we could do better than that dope empty suit Romney or your guy?
You mean as Americans?
somebody to run this country?
Oh, yeah, that's what I meant. As Americans, well, you know what? We got a political structure, and, you know, this is who's been nominated. And, gosh, you know, if you look on the Republican side, they went through a lot of people to get here, and this was the decision made. Boy, I tell you, you know, yesterday's comment by Ann Romney, you know, stop questioning my husband, stop the doubts. If you think you can do better, get in the ring. I tell you, some level of frustration over on that side.
Are you a Christian?
I am.
Do you, are you ready to deal with Jesus maybe having a wife?
You know, I never had any trouble with it. In fact, you know, there's always questions about whether or not in the Last Supper, that drawing, you know, that in fact that's a woman next to him. It seems to me inevitable. I mean, all the talk about not just Mary Magdalene, but I mean, you know, people that were described as prostitutes and outcasts and the like. I think he was, you know, fully human. Let me just say that, in human form.
A player.
That God, and I just think that part of being human is your sexuality.
I got punked by Jesus the other day.
Yeah. Now, this is interesting. What happened to you?
Well, I tore my rotator cuff, and then suddenly it stopped hurting, and I thought, thank you, God. Yeah. Jesus. And then it started hurting again.
Oh, no.
So I got punked by Jesus.
Well, you think you had some good times there for a minute? I mean, thank God you got some relief.
Yeah, well, now I'm okay. So.
Yeah, well.
All right, behave yourself,
I'm glad to hear that.
Behave yourself, Mr. Williams. Always love having you on.
I appreciate it, and I'm going to just burn Tom Donlan's name into my head again. You know what I mean? I don't know why I forgot that name.
He is the National Security Advisor to the President, the director of the agency, is a guy named General Keith Alexander.
Read some of them for you, would you?
Oh, okay. How about this one from Bob from Oak Ridge, New Jersey?
Okay.
Bob says, you need to have Heather Childers sit on a stool with the red dress she had on this morning, and your ratings will go through the roof.
Yeah. Where was Heather? Was she on the Fox News channel?
Yeah, she was on the 5 a.m. show.
Well, it's not going to happen with us, Bob.
Yeah.
So anything else?
It was a try. How about this one from Bubba from Ohio?
Okay.
Bubba has a suggestion.
Oh, sure.
Bubba says, I have a suggestion for a new segment on Imus in the Morning. How about a Friday segment of mud wrestling featuring Dagan and Carly, possibly with an occasional guest wrestler like Deirdre, Diane Macedo, or Jerry Willis.
Or Heather Childers.
Or Connell and Dagan.
Oh, yeah.
Please give this suggestion serious consideration.
Thank you, Bubba.
Okay.
Sure.
Well, is anybody on the program willing to mud wrestle?
This is what we have. Elvis, I think.
This program?
Yeah, they're in the panties, man.
No.
Okay, Carly's not. Dagan's not, right?
Besides guns.
No.
Connell,
I'm glad they threw Connell in with all the other women.
All right, Connell.
Bad.
Well, you and Guns wrestle in your panties on the
yeah, we'll do it.
on the
Me and
program.
Guns. Let's do
Let's
that.
do it, baby. Come on now.
Calm down, Guns.
Quarter after the hour,
No,
time for
I
sports.
like how you know that they both wear panties rather than men's underwear.
Ladies and gentlemen, Imus in the morning.
I don't care if it rains or freezes. As long as I got my plastic Jesus. Riding on the dashboard of my car. Hey, you know, regular civilians can't tell the difference in cowboy hats. Like Lupica, he has no idea whether a hat's good or not.
Civilians.
But so Rob Bartlett, who has no idea about cowboy hats, he says to me, man, that's a great looking hat.
Oh, God.
And that's the key.
Yeah.
If a civilian can tell the hat's great, then it's great.
A layman. There you go.
And I got it yesterday from the Man's Hat Shop.
I prefer layman.
Out in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Why am I plugging them? I'm not. How many hats can they sell? I mean, hello.
Oh, hello.
But old Stewart blocked it up for me and fired it off to the I-man. Come on, dude.
Old Stewart. All right. Shaking the ladies off your leg, walking out of the building.
Dude can make a hat. Vince Gill's coming up. We're going to talk to him.
Yep.
Neil Cavuto's here. So is Bill Clinton. Bill, how are you?
I'm all right, man.
Mr. President, I'm sorry.
Good looking hat.
And Tony Robbins, how are you?
Good morning, Imus.
Tony's here. And Dagan and Carly and Lou Rufino and Benai McGuigan. And Warner Wolf and Guns. What a couple of dopes.
God.
Well, we liked the Carolina Panthers.
Yes.
Giants went down there and put a butt whooping on them, 36-7. 36-7. I woke up. Huh?
I told Mike we should go there.
I woke up in the fourth quarter. Fourth quarter just started. It was 26-7. The Carolina Panthers were driving. Apparently, they didn't drive anywhere.
No.
And the Giants put up 10 more.
Yeah.
So
the backups were great. That was the key.
Well, you and Guns should have anticipated that.
Yes, we should have.
Right. Though, in fairness to you, those guys on the pregame show on the NFL Network, Steve Mariucci, Rick Chison, that dope Deion Sanders, that other dope Michael Irvin, and I don't know who the other guy is. Who is that guy, Lou?
Marshall Faulk.
Marshall Faulk.
Oh, yeah, Marshall.
No, they're all fine, but they're dumb. Every single one of them picked the Carolina Panthers. Every one of them.
Mm-hmm.
This portion of the Irish Wayne program, incidentally, sponsored by a New York Times bestselling author, Mitch Albom's new book, The Timekeeper. Dude has sold 30 million books. That's a lot of money. Get the ears fixed. The Bernie briefing, by the way, which I neglected to mention last hour, is sponsored by Ramsey Fiat, Route 17, Upper Saddle River, New Jersey. Go to RamseyFiat.com. So I did mention that Vince Gill's coming up. We're going to chat with him. And then Neil Cavuto. I ran into Neil downstairs, and I had my little bottle of oxygen with me because I couldn't breathe.
I know.
So he was like terrified. Well, why don't you go home? Because I'm a man is why I didn't go home. Time for the news now at 8 minutes after the hour. And here with that is Conor McShane. Morning, Conor.
All right, good morning, Amen. We'll start with the campaign. President Obama pressed on some of the failures in his first term, immigration and other things, at a forum in Florida hosted by the Spanish-language station Univision. The president says he's learned a few things over the past 4 years.
You can't change Washington from the inside. You can only change it from the outside. That's how I got elected, and that's how the big accomplishments like health care got done.
I'm going to go to Robert Gray now. Do you care?
No, not really. Was that you screaming, by the way?
Yeah. Do you have something else you want to say?
We had to ask.
Romney campaigning across Florida real quick.
The president has already thrown in the white flag of surrender.
Suit dummy.
That's all I have.
All right, from Fox Business, here's Robert Gray. Good morning, Mr. Gray.
Hey, man. Good morning.
Where are you?
I'm out in front of the Apple store on 5th Avenue at 59th Street. It's normally a 24/7 store here, man. You may have gone in the middle of the night, but they actually closed it.
Well, they did.
So they could create. Yeah, they wanted to manufacture a line, and as you know from back in the day, no one manufactures lines like they do here in New York.
No. I've actually been in that store a couple of times.
Yeah.
Oh.
Really?
Oh. Yeah.
So.
I'll be darned.
Robert.
Oh, yeah?
Me too.
Say it, Robert. I'll be darned.
Oh, my God.
Do you have something to report, Robert?
Absolutely. Yeah, we're out here. Look, there's several hundred people lined up waiting for this new iPhone 5 to go on sale. It's coming out 8 a.m. Folks will be rolling in.
Oh, God,
and they could sell as many as 10 million of these by the end of this month alone.
Okay. Well, a very fine report, and thank you for that important information, Robert.
What a loser parade.
Those idiots have been camped out there for 5 nights.
Oh, for days.
Bigfoot.
Some of these guys have been here all week.
Morons.
Bigfoot.
Let's talk to some.
Have you lost your mind?
What are you kidding? This is a great story today.
What about
And you personalized it as always.
Yeah.
I've been in that
So
store.
we have a unique situation here in the Imus Morning program.
I walked through that zip
We
code.
have wall-to-wall commercials, which is how we keep doing this, which I'm happy that we do have.
Right.
So we don't have an inordinate amount of time for Warner to go on and on about Yogi Berra or somebody, or Miller Huggins.
Good report, Warner.
And you know I like Robert Gray, but to go to Robert Gray with no information. Well, I'm standing outside the store here. We got 200 people. Okay, good, great.
Robert Gray all the way.
Miller Huggins was waiting for
I
an
like
iPhone.
Robert Gray. He is a terrific reporter. He's got a nice sense of humor, but he gave us zero information. That ain't
people
fair.
online.
Come
no,
on.
you
That's
talked about
not
how
fair.
many iPhones might be sold and that kind of thing.
Yeah, why would
Some of
these
the
idiots
projections.
camp out and not wait 5-10 days and buy it in the store later on?
Exactly.
Who knows? Well, maybe he knows. Do you know why they do, Robert?
Yes, I do. We've talked to several of these folks, man, and some of these guys are big tech fans, and they wanted to be a part of the experience here and the first to have it. We just talked to a guy from Tucson, and he wants to have it before his buddies. He's posting on Facebook. He's going to have the newest, latest, and greatest.
There you go.
And these guys like to have the faster processor, bigger screens. Some of the other phones have already had that for 6 to 9 months, so the Apple's playing a little catch-up here.
There you go.
Robert Gray, the Fox Business Network.
On top of it.
Live outside 59th and 5th.
Yeah.
At the Apple Store. Good report, dude.
Well done,
12
Robert.
minutes after the hour. Please stop calling people dude, Imus.
Well.
It's 12 minutes after the hour. Let's do a little news, more news. And here with that is Connell Maxine. Good morning.
All right. Good morning, I'm Well, the campaign moves to
Oh, wow.
Nevada today, where Mitt Romney will be campaigning, and Virginia, where President Obama will be holding a rally. Here's some numbers that are in. Obama leads the Wall Street Journal NBC News swing state poll. It's up 8 in Iowa, 5 in Wisconsin, Colorado. The Gallup Daily Tracking Poll, though, dead heat, 47% apiece around the country for Mitt Romney and President Obama. There are protests today taking place in Pakistan. In fact, they've named it a national day of protest there over this anti-Muslim movie that is produced here in the United States. And the government in Pakistan actually disabling cell phone service, some of their major cities, trying to prevent phones from being used in detonating bombs. And then in Syria, the President Bashar Assad talking tough. An Egyptian magazine reporting that Assad predicts the defeat of the armed opposition, that foreign intervention like the one in Libya will not be repeated there, he said. This, as at least 30 are reported dead in the northern part of the country. Government airstrikes reportedly hit a gas station and caused a huge explosion in Syria. Then the surge is over in Afghanistan. Defense Secretary Leon Panetta says the 33,000 additional troops that were sent a couple of years ago to Afghanistan have now pulled out of the country. He calls it a very important milestone, says the surge accomplished its goals in Afghanistan.
Really?
And one other thing for you, the Emmys this Sunday, but Kelsey Grammer not a nominee. Critics and fans of Grammer's Stars show Boss have agreed that he was snubbed when these Emmy nominations were announced. He recently suggested that his conservative political leanings were the reason.
I did speculate about the fact that maybe I'm a pretty well outed conservative in Hollywood, and maybe there's some energy there. But I've since come to think that maybe it just hasn't gotten out there enough. I don't know.
What? Kelsey Grammer thinks he was snubbed there, for the Emmys, and those are your
No justice, no peace.
Exactly right. Your headlines this morning.
All right. Hey, Bigfoot, load up Tony Robbins, Lady Gaga, okay?
Yes, sir.
Let's do a business report now at 14 after the hour. And here with that, just ahead of Vince Gill and Burning with the briefing. And Warner with sports is Dagan McDowell. Morning, Dagan.
Good morning, sir. Did you know that the new iPhone 5 goes on sale this morning at 8 a.m.? Maybe we could take a live look at the Apple Store here in Midtown Manhattan.
Don't be mean.
For the lines of people. All those you know why those doofuses line up? Because they ain't got no woman at home. And they've got to be one of the first of their friends to get the new iPhone 5.
They either ain't got a woman at home or they got a woman at home like you. The only woman at home is their mom.
Oh, the I-Man.
You know what? No truer thing has ever been said.
I'll wait on this line for 4 days. Get away from her.
Come on, let's go here.
Is that Jonas?
Well, it's going to set records.
Thought he had an Android phone.
Okay.
He's buying
Big
5
race,
phones.
Loudon, New Hampshire, NASCAR this weekend.
Yes.
All right,
Mile
second
track.
race of the chase or whatever.
I do have something, though. The iPhone sells like it does because BlackBerry stinks to high heaven, and BlackBerry service is actually out today in parts of Europe, the Middle East, and Africa. So there is justice in this world.
All right, quarter after the hour, let's do some sports. Well, no, first let's go to Tony Robbins, who's got some thoughts about Lady Gaga. Good morning, Mr. Robbins.
Good morning, Imus. Lady Gaga is having a physical crisis. She recently put on a couple of pounds. Who am I kidding? I saw her in concert with that big hat and those big glasses. I thought she was CeeLo Green. She's gone from doing well-choreographed routines to the electric slide. Apparently, it's not as taxing. Gaga claims that she gained the weight eating delicious food at her father's Italian restaurant in Manhattan. That's a relief. I'm glad she wasn't eating her dresses. A bacon muumuu has got to be like, 50,000 calories? Eating your clothes would certainly qualify as an unhealthy relationship with food. Gaga lives, breathes, sleeps, and eats music. She's passionate about music and obviously about food. I told her to combine her loves. She took my advice and started writing her sheet music on sheet cakes. Share your music with the world, but share your cakes with friends. That's the out-of-the-box thinking that's made her a superstar. Setting goals is the first step in turning the invisible into the visible. Lady Gaga's goal was to go from being an unknown artist to being, well, the biggest thing in music. Yeah. I'd say we've got that covered.
Tony Robbins here in the Imus in the Morning program. All right, let's do sports. At 16 minutes after the hour, just ahead of Vince Gill. Later on this morning, Neil Cavuto, and sports is sponsored by Peerless Boilers. And here with sports, best sportscaster in the country, Warner Wolf. Morning, Warner.
Thank you very much. Good morning, Iron. Thursday night football in Charlotte. The Giants beat the Panthers 36-7. It was the story of the backups. Running back Andre Brown playing for Ahmad Bradshaw, 113 yards, 20 carries, 2 touchdowns. And wide receiver Ramses Barden playing in place of Hakeem Nicks, 9 receptions for 138 yards.
Wow.
Eli, 288 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions, and Lawrence Tynes kicked 5 field goals. Cam Newton trailing 23-0 in the third quarter, and obviously thinking a touchdown was worth 23 points, scored on a 1-yard touchdown, and then went into his Superman celebration. Come on, Cam. Baseball, Yankees beat the Jays 10.
I tell Wyatt that all the time. I said, you put up an 8 roping, well, throw your hat,
Right.
Act like you've been there before.
That's right. That's what Tom Landry said, right.
What an idiot.
I mean, what a dope.
Oh, my God.
Yanks sweep the Jays. Ichiro, a home run, a double. He's 9 for his last 12.
Well, that guy's great, huh?
Oh, man, he's on fire.
And apparently New York was come on, dude.
Well, they lead by 1, and both have 13 to play. And before a bogus announced crowd of 20,000 at Citi Field, the Phillies scored 8 in the first, 9 in the 7 in the ninth, and beat the Mets 16-1. The Mets are only 4-25 at home since the All-Star break.
Wow.
Boise State beat BYU 7-6. BYU scored a touchdown, 3.5 minutes left, went for the 2-point conversion and missed. Wait a minute. Stop the music.
All right.
Finally, there may be a long-awaited Floyd Mayweather-Manny Pacquiao fight.
Wow.
Pacquiao, who, by the way, has to fight Juan Manuel Marquez for the 4th time.
Yeah, 4 times.
Has agreed, number 1, to give Mayweather...
Fought him more time than the guys they're doing in marriages.
He's agreed to give Mayweather a 55-45 split. Yeah. Mayweather getting the 55 rather than the 50-50. And number 2... Pacquiao says he will agree to Mayweather's demand that he take the Olympic-style drug test, which includes the blood test.
Yeah, sure.
The only drawback is when the fight occurs, Mayweather will be 36 and Pacquiao 34. And in golf, you have the top 30 golfers in the world at that FedEx Cup playoff. Tiger Woods and Justin Rose share the lead, 4 under 66. And finally, our old friend Jerry Jones agrees with Buccaneers coach Greg Schiano that it's okay for a team to go for the ball when the other team is kneeling down to run out the clock. Jones says the kneel down is a wasted play, should be outlawed, and if a team doesn't run a play, they should be penalized.
We're trying to win. We're out there on the field, I tell Tony. And we're trying to win. And we're the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah. We didn't win in Seattle. And that sucked, and so I went to the titty bar. What are you going to do? Yeah. That's 20 minutes after the hour. Thank you very much, Warner. There's a briefing coming up. What's there, B?
President Obama grilled by this Spanish-language TV station host, and another secret Paris Hilton tape revealed that we have the tape.
One of the great songs Vince Gill ever wrote or recorded. It was a huge hit for the boy. It was a huge hit. Pocket full of gold. About a guy, he's married, and he goes in the bar. somewhere. And he takes that ring off his finger. I do that when I go to the titty bar. I have a pocket full of gold.
He slipped the ring off his finger. When he walked in the room, and he found him some stranger, promised her the moon. How many lies you must have told? You think you're a rich man with your pocket full of gold.
Imus in the morning.
Continues right now on Fox Business.
Jesus had a ball and chain. Jesus had a ball and chain. You know, they found this this historian of early Christianity up there at Harvard, the divinity school. The girl found a scrap of marshweed or whatever the hell it was, papyrus, whatever you call it.
Yeah.
Written in the 4th century, containing a phrase that we've never seen in any piece of scripture.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Jesus, and he said unto them, my wife.
Whoa.
What up, girl?
Wow. What up?
Anyway, so it's sad. Man, I said, what? What's that, Godfather?
Honey, the Christs are coming over for coffee tonight. I wonder whose name she called out when they were making love.
No.
Anyway. Talk to this in a couple minutes. But first, this Bernie briefing is sponsored by Ramsey Fiat, Route 17, Upper Saddle River, New Jersey. Go to RamseyFiat.com. Here's Benai McGurk. What up, B?
Well, President Obama, boss, candidate Barack Obama back in 2008 promised in no uncertain terms that he would pass comprehensive immigration reform. He had a Democratic Congress for 2 years. In any case, he was on Univision yesterday, and the host, Jorge Ramos, again, a Spanish Inquisition, he hammered the president on this, and listen to the president's answer.
You promised that, and a promise is a promise, and with all due respect, but you didn't keep that promise.
Well, here's what I would say, Jorge, is that, and we've had this conversation before, there's the thinking that the president is somebody who is all-powerful and can get everything done. In our branch of, in our system of government, I am the head of the executive branch. I'm not the head of the legislature. I'm not the head of the judiciary. We have to have cooperation from all these sources in order to get something done. And so I am happy to take responsibility for the fact that we didn't get it done, but I did not make a promise that I would get everything done 100% when I was elected as president.
Of course not.
Yes, we can.
Oh, man.
No, we can't.
Oh, I mean, come on here.
Anyway, there's another secret tape scandal out here, boss.
Okay.
This time, first it was Mitt Romney. Now it's your girl, Paris Hilton.
Oh.
She was
My girl?
Everybody's girl. Come on.
Oh, okay.
You know you love that tape. The first one she was in. Now, she was in a taxi back during Fashion Week here in Manhattan, and this cab driver actually taped her and her gay friend. The gay friend was telling her about a guy he knows who has AIDS and has unprotected sex, this, that, and the other. And she said some stuff that's getting her into a little bit of trouble. Take a listen to it.
Yo, do you want to and you might be on like the 6th floor.
Gay guys are the horniest people in the world.
Gay guys are
Ew. They're disgusting.
Like, listen, my ass for me.
Ew. Dude, most of them probably have
One-way
AIDS.
entry.
I would be so scared if I was a gay. You'll like die of AIDS. Ew.
Okay, what is she saying, Bernie?
She's saying gay guys are the horniest people in the world. They're disgusting. Dude, most of them probably have AIDS.
Yeah.
She said in the taxi that...
not good.
some dude was, Muhammad there was rolling on while she had the conversation.
Yeah, just don't be hating on everybody, baby. All right. Anything else, Bernie?
No, I'm done, boss.
It's 30 minutes past the hour. I was talking to Kinky Friedman yesterday. Kinky refuses to use a computer, won't text, won't email. So there's no way to stay in touch with him. I mean, you can call him, but we're talking about Dwight Yoakam's new record. So I said, have you heard Waterfall? Kinky said, I love it to death. I said, all right.
If I had a waterfall, we wouldn't wonder not at all how much fun each day was gonna be. If I had a mountaintop, I know we would never stop climbing way high up to look and see. If I had a jellyfish, bet you we would never miss a single peanut butter kiss or squeeze. If I had a waterfall, it might not make no sense at all. That won't matter much to you and me. Babies get born even in a war. I guess just to show us what living is for. And my heart still believes that love for what we need can be enough. If we'll just stop keeping score. If I had a big giraffe, tried to dance and made us laugh, every smile and giggle would be free. If I had a big moonlight, we'd turn it back on every night, just so the dark could try and get some sleep. And if I had a rocket ship, we'd go places really quick, then have the time to stop and get ice cream. And if I had a big giraffe, he'd have to take a real long bath. And that's why waterfalls are really neat.
I'm not afraid of living, and I'm not afraid of dying. I'm just afraid we're going to go 5 minutes without talking about, well, me.
Fearless Talk Radio. Imus in the morning.
Program. Please welcome to the program one of the embarrassing, one of the great country singers of all time, songwriters, Vince Gill. Good morning, Mr. Gill.
How you doing, Donnie?
Fine. How are you?
I'm good. Good to see you.
Nice to see you. Thanks for coming in. So,
yeah.
I was talking this morning, not to patronize you, which I wouldn't do. I said there's a few people who sing who I'd have come in just to talk. You're one of them.
Well, thanks.
Do you like Dwight Yoakam?
I do. I always have. He's a good guy.
A smart guy, too.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Smart as a whip.
Crazy.
He's a little bit crazy, but most talented people are just one tick shy of nuts.
Yeah, but good crazy.
There's a good crazy.
Kinky Friedman, Delbert McClinton.
Yeah.
But like Montgomery Gentry, I love them, but, man, they can't put two words together.
I wouldn't know.
So, you know what I've learned?
It's a political year, no comment.
So, well, I'm the worst kind of country disc jockey. Really, that's what I am at heart.
Well, you're one of the last people on earth that love music.
Yeah.
That's why I love come seeing you, when we got a new record or something's exciting going on, because I know you'll get it, and I know you'll enjoy it.
I just got Dwight's new. Do you care if we talk about other artists?
No, I don't.
I just got his new record. It is fabulous.
Yeah, I've heard. I haven't heard it yet, but I've heard people raving about it.
Got a song called Waterfall.
I heard a little bit of that.
That's clever, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, and because Dwight, he's a man who, when he went out with Sharon Stone, she described him as a dirt sandwich.
About as much fun as a dirt sandwich.
Hey, have you ever heard of the Christian rock group Stryker?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have.
This is a tedious story. Maybe it's not tedious. But when my brother, God bless him, was working for the railroad as a brakeman, his partner was Phil Sweet.
Mm-hmm.
And Fred and Phil wrote a song called I Don't Want to Have to Marry You when they were working for the railroad.
Right.
And they eventually got it cut and went to #1 and all that stuff. And Phil married a woman named Janice. And he's a great guy. They live in Las Vegas. And they had 2 sons, Michael and Robert Sweet. And they are Stryker.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's neat.
And Christian rock, they are.
Uh-huh.
And then Michael spent the past 2 summers going out singing lead for Boston. It's a small world, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
So,
Ever since I married Amy, everybody thinks I know everything about Christian music, but I don't.
Well, Amy Grant,
I wish I did.
Everybody in the country had a crush on her when she was.
Oh yeah.
I remember all these disc jockeys over at NBC years ago. I remember Frank Reed. I don't know if I remember his name or not. He was telling me he said, "Have you heard Amy Grant?" And I said, "No." He said, "Oh man, come on here." So what's new with you?
Not much. After I married Amy, I used to have to fight my way out of the bars. Now I have to fight my way out of the churches being married to her.
Hey, you built a studio at home?
I did, yeah.
Isn't a studio now just pretty much your laptop or no?
Well, pretty much. I mean, it can be, but I went a little further than that. Not as big as a commercial studio, but enough to track. And it's really fun because we all kind of gather around in a room and play music together instead of sequester each other off in a booth somewhere where you can't see each other, and we're all just playing together. And it's been the greatest experience. This new record, the Time Jumpers record, that I started playing with this band about 2.5 years ago, and they're a Western swing band.
Yeah.
And me being from Oklahoma, I was crazy. I've always been crazy for Bob Wills music and that swing stuff. And they would ask me to come in and occasionally sit in and fill in. And, you know, if a guitar player couldn't make it, they'd call me up and sub. And little by little, they grew confidence in me and said, "Hey, you want to be in the band?" A couple guys quit. And I said, "Sure, it'd be fun." So I talked them into making a record at the house, and we decided to put it out. I said, "Man, we can make a record for nothing. It'll be a blast." And so away we went.
Talking with Vince Gill here in the Imus Winning Brigham. Weren't you originally in Pure Prairie League?
Long time ago. Yeah, 33 years ago.
And before that?
I played with a guy named Byron Berline, really great fiddle player, lived in Los Angeles, was a session player, played on Rolling Stones records and the Byrds records and all kinds of great rock records, and was the go-to guy for fiddle out on the West Coast forever and ever and ever. And he had an opening, and I was 18 or 19 and moved out there as a kid and started out there.
You just played guitar for a long time, right?
Yeah, still do.
No, I know you do. But I mean, I guess you knew you could sing, but nobody else did, or did they? Or?
Well, a lot of times those gigs I would get would be because I could sing too, you know. And in those days, if you could find somebody that could multitask, I guess it'd be a good word for it, and do a bunch of different stuff, you were a better asset to a band. And so I was always able to play a little bit of everything and could fill in whatever was needed.
What's the state of country music in your view?
It's interesting.
You like it or no?
I'm not crazy about it, but I'm not supposed to. I'm 55 years old, and I'm supposed to like what, you know, my era did and the era before me. I don't dislike it. I just don't necessarily believe that it's the term country music fits it so much. But you know, they're young kids, and they're following their muse. They're doing what they love, and I've got no bitterness towards them at all.
Well, I'm 72, and I'd be loving that Pontoon record by Little Big.
Oh, isn't that cool?
That's a good record, man.
Yeah.
I like Jason Aldean. Come on.
Yeah, he's fun. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, they're rocking. They're hard. You know, they're pretty brash. They're you know, party time and all that stuff. It's just, you know, it's not for me. It's not that I don't like it. But.
Jamie Johnson, of course, he's
great songwriter.
Speaking out about being out where the buses don't run, so but he's great, isn't he?
He is.
Oh man,
he's a great throwback. You know.
Who do you really think is great?
Oh well, I like. There's a lot of people I love. I think Carrie Underwood sings her brains out.
Really?
Yeah, she's a great singer.
I just can't take that screaming.
Well, she does. She will sing hard, but that's. You got to understand, that's what people are. That's what they're learning. That's what they're seeing from Star Search and American. All these shows. It's like grandiose and big finish, and you know, it's.
I listened to something the other day, a duet you did with her. It's good.
Oh, the How Great Thou Art thing.
Yeah,
that was nice.
Are you really religious? I mean,
to some degree, I guess. Probably not to the level of probably what the expectation is of me, because I'm married to Amy.
Yeah.
I feel like a novice, you know, because I haven't had a church life in my adult life. I did as a kid, but my adult life was never conducive to it, only because of my work. I was gone every weekend.
But you believe Jesus is the Son of God?
I do.
Okay. And like Mojo Nixon says about Elvis, Elvis is everywhere. And I believe Jesus is everywhere. I mean, I also, though, however, not that anybody asked me, but I respect all other religions as well.
I do too.
See, I don't think there's just one way to get there.
Well, I've traveled the world enough to, you know, it doesn't seem logical that other parts of the world would know this way. You know, maybe I'm wrong. I have been before.
Now, are you prepared for this new information? that Jesus may have had a wife.
I heard, yeah.
My observation was if wasn't it her job then to come up with the fishing laws? Just idiotic.
That explains the missing years.
You know Billy Joe Shaver?
A little bit,
Yeah. I think he's one of the great songwriters ever.
I do too, yeah.
But there's somebody who is certifiably, but a sweet man. Nice guy.
That's my, that's really my era of the people I loved were guys like him, Guy Clark, Jerry Jeff, and Rodney Crowell, and just those really great songwriters from 60s and 70s. Townes Van Zandt and Emmy Lou was a great mentor to me and teaching me what great songs were like and who great songwriters were. And so, yeah.
Bill Anderson, one of the great songwriters ever.
No question. Most recorded probably in the history of country music. Even maybe more so than Harlan or any of the others. I don't know.
God, wasn't he great, Harlan Howard?
Yeah,
oh, my God,
awesome.
please.
We were good buddies. When I first moved to Nashville, we were great friends, and I would sing all of his demos for him for $10 a song.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
and
man.
There's tons of demos of Harlan's, and we were great friends.
Before he died, he sent me a CD that he cut of all of his songs.
Wow.
That he had written. He just dubbed it, Rachel Busted. I mean, just everything.
Cool.
Oh, my God, what a great song.
He's a great man. When I was first getting started, he pulled me aside and he said, "Kid, you're one hell of a guitar player." So thanks, Harlan. He says, "And you're a pretty good songwriter, but you're one hell of a guitar player, one hell of a singer, and a pretty good songwriter." So I get what you're saying.
So you have a new record?
Not me. The Time Jumpers.
Okay.
This band does. It came out last week. And
maybe I could pay attention.
No, that's cool. I mean,
right.
It's a fun record. You would really love this record if you like Bob Wills and that swing music. It's an 11-piece band full of arguably some of the best talent that's ever graced instruments in Nashville, Tennessee. All sidemen, all guys that played for other people, session players, things like that. All wanted to have fun on Monday nights, so we got together years ago, and they did, and started playing every Monday night just for the love of it and the fun of it, and we still are. We just made a record.
I can take a little bit of Bob Wills, but it's my contention, and I know I'm right, that nobody likes bluegrass music, including the people who play it.
I think you might get a wrestling match over that one.
I'm sure it will. It's great to see you. It's an honor to have you
pal.
on the program. You're
Thanks.
one of my favorites. You're one of everybody's favorites.
Well,
so
right back at you.
my wife loves you, and my 14-year-old kid loves you, and a lot of people do. Man.
I appreciate it.
The great Vince Gill. I played that Go Rest High on the Mountain she wrote for your brother.
Yeah.
And thanks for the money he sent to the ranch when Fred died. But he's been dead a year. It's still hard to talk about him.
I know.
I played the record. I tried to talk about it. And
yeah, my brother's been gone for 20 years. Hard to believe, but that's
why do
part of
we?
your soul.
What is it? Is it? Why do we? Why does people die and have that effect on us? It's part of life.
Yeah, it's because you miss them.
Is it?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I guess that is. I mean, we're not. Yeah, I guess that's what it is. All right, man. It's great to see you.
You too, buddy.
Vince Gill.